guys, welcome to another vlog. So I'm about to head off to work, so I'm just waiting for my breakfast to finish and I'm doing some cleaning. Let's talk about what I'm going to be reading this week. So today I have a follow-up appointment for my foot at 3:45. We'll see if I get the okay, but I think I'm going to pick up some favorites. Like I said at the end of my last vlog, I was going to read Descendant of the Crane and Children of Blood and Bone, but my library books are due today, and I didn't make any progress in either of those books. So I need to drop off my library books on my way home today. I still have the audiobook for Children of Blood and Bone off Hoopla. I'm not sure how much longer I have it, but I'm probably going to just listen to it. I have a lot of other audiobooks that I need to get to. I was unknowingly paying for Audible for like 3 months, which was stupid of me. So I had to use some credits, and I got some good books that I will talk about later. Then I have The Hating Game, Children of Blood and Bone. I got some other books from my library off Hoopla that I need to listen to as well. I'm gonna listen to Children of Blood and Bone or one of my other library audiobooks while I am going to work. But yeah, so then what I'm gonna physically read this week is my favorites TBR, which I will talk about later when I get home, because I actually have all the books. So I'm gonna pull them out, make a TBR, and then talk about it. But for right now, I'm just going to work, and then I have my appointment. So I will talk to you guys later. Okay, hi guys. I know I haven't updated you guys on my reading, and that's still not why I'm here. I wanted to show you the birthday present that I just got in the mail. This is only some of it. I have the rest of it going later. So we'll start with the less interesting stuff first. So as you guys know, I'm planning on reading all my favorites, and I'm gonna annotate them. So I got more sticky notes. I got a new bookmark that has a little tassel on it, and it says, "Drink good coffee, read good books." And then this is the second most exciting thing that I got. This stunning edition of City of Bones. Oh my god. I'm like, oh, those pages are crisp. This has not been opened. Then, oh, when you flip through, there are pictures, and I'm so excited for this. Like, I've never had like a special edition anything before, and I really want all the ones that there are for the Shadowhunter Chronicles, but a lot of them are really expensive and or they are no longer available, like they're sold out. So when I was able to find this one and the other one I got, I was so excited. But I got this one, and then I got Clockwork Angel, and I'll show you guys when I get it in, but it's not supposed to come until like, it's not supposed to come until the 16th, and today is the 2nd or 3rd. So I still have a while, but this is just so pretty. There's little drawings and like pictures on the inside. So that's cute. Jace. This is so pretty. I'm so excited. Like, I'm so excited for this. I don't think I'm gonna do my reread in this. I'll probably do my reread in my regular copy, but I do the one that I'm like, when I annotate. Okay, I need to stop because I need to go make dinner, but I am so excited for this and for Clockwork Angel. So that was my update. I will come to you guys with an actual TBR later. I have been reading, I just haven't updated you guys. I read the first book in the Fallaway series by Penelope Douglas. It's like a romance series, and it's like a bully romance. It's literally called Bully. And I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was really mediocre. I think this was like Penelope Douglas's first book, and it was just like a hint This was like before she got real bold and was like giving us the darkness. So it was just like a regular bully romance. It was written in like 2012 or 13. So there's like real annoying stuff like girl shaming and all that kind of stuff. I think I like spoiled myself by reading her other newer books first, but also I don't know if I would have like picked up her next book if that had been my first book. It wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't like awe-inspiring like her other books are. But yeah, and then I started The Kiss Thief, is that what it's called, by L.J. Shin, which is like a mafia romance, and it's a hate to love like marriage of convenience or inconvenience. She doesn't want to be married to him and he doesn't really want to be married to her either, but like he does it as like blackmail against her father, who's like a mob boss. And it's pretty okay. The whole thing, like, I don't know how she's gonna make me want them together, because like, for one, the relationship that we're supposed to want her to be in is with a guy that met her when she was 16 and he was 20 or something along those lines, which is gross. And then the one she's in now is she's 19 and he's 30, which I'm a little more okay with because she's an adult, but yeah. So we'll see how that works out. Like I said, I'll come back with a TBR of my faves that I'm gonna be reading. I promise. Don't hold me to that. Don't hold your breath waiting, because who knows? Hi, hello, it is Friday. It's like early morning, earlier than I usually get up, but I'm here to update you with the books that I'm gonna read for the rest of the week. So I'm still gonna read the L.J. Shin book that I was talking about yesterday. I am 56% through it. There's a scene in here that I just read and it felt really icky. I don't know how I feel about it. If you've read the book, then please let me know so we can talk about it in the comments, because I don't know how I feel. I'm gonna have to read some Goodreads reviews because I have feelings about it and I don't know what they are. I was enjoying the book okay up until that point, and now I just don't know how I feel about it. But anyways, let's talk about the books I'm gonna read. So first I am going to start a reread of Tokyo Ghoul. So this is volume 1. If you don't know what Tokyo Ghoul is, it's a fantastic series, manga and anime. Basically, the main character, Kaneki, there's this world with ghouls, and he gets in an accident, and there is a ghoul like found with him in this accident. They end up having to do transplants of some of her organs into his organs, and so he turns into a ghoul, and it's just like this whole thing, and it's so freaking good. And the art style is just so amazing, and I'm so excited to reread this. You can watch the anime, and the anime is so good. One of my all-time favorite just shows in general, just all around, like not even just my favorite animes, like just all around some of my favorite piece of media. Like, oh, so good. Then I am going to start my reread of Full Metal Alchemist. This is a omnibus of 1 through 3. I believe I own all of the manga like volumes. This is about 2 brothers that are alchemists, I guess, and one of the brothers is in a full body suit because they, in an attempt to bring back their mom from the dead, he lost, I want to say, an arm and a leg, either an arm and a leg or just an arm, and he lost like his whole body, and so he bound him to this suit. They want to get their bodies back, and also they're fighting some villains in here, obviously. It's really, really good. I am going to be rereading Punk 57 and Birthday Girl, both by Penelope Douglas. Punk 57 is about pen pals that are, this is like considered new adult. They're 18, they're still in high school, but pen pals, they were pen pals like all their lives, and then they end up meeting, and only one of them knows who the other person is. Like, they know that that's their pen pal, and it's like a hate to love situation. Very angsty, very Penelope Douglas, just really good. The Holy Grail. I will be rereading Birthday Girl. I have already read this twice this year. I'm just so excited. This is the romance between Pike and Jordan. Pike is Jordan's boyfriend's dad, and when Jordan and her boyfriend lose their apartment, they go and move in with Pike, and then a romance like brews between Jordan and Pike. And this is so good. I was genuinely in love with this. Obviously, I've reread it twice already, and it's only September. Like, I love this so much. And what I like about this, I think, is it sounds very taboo, but like before this even starts, they like kind of have this initial connection before they even know who each other is, and it's really good, and I really like it. I will be starting my reread of the Shadowhunter Chronicles. And the way that I read the Chronicles, I don't read it in publication order, I read it in chronological order. So I will be starting with The Clockwork Angel. This is the first book in the Infernal Devices, which is the first series in the Shadowhunter Chronicles. I'm excited to jump into this. I actually started a reread several months ago on audio when I thought that I was gonna reread everything just audibly. But I've decided that I really want to jump into this physically and annotate it. I've had this copy for a really, really long time. Like, I bought it brand new. I want to say I bought it when the year that it came out. So it was published in 2010, which I was a freshman in high school. So yeah, that sounds about right. So I basically got this the year it came out. So I've had it for a long time, and I took it in the bath and it got waterlogged. I actually bought the collector's edition of this, as well as the Mortal Instruments that you guys saw in my last clip, and I'm so excited. It's my favorite book in this. It's probably my favorite series of all time. This one isn't my favorite. The second one is. It's a tie because the second one and the third one are just so good. But anyways, I'm rambling. I'm so excited to jump into this, and I'm gonna annotate it. So I'm really, really, really excited. I like this series the most out of all the Chronicles. I haven't read any of the novellas. I'm excited to jump into this. Tessa is like probably the character that I relate to the most, and I like love triangles. Spoilers if you haven't read this, I guess. I like love triangles if they're done well, and this is probably like what happens over the 3 books is probably my favorite love triangle of all time, because I genuinely like every leg of the love triangle. The last book that I will be listening to audibly is Vicious by LJ Shin. This was like my first intro in kind of like dark romance, I guess. I listened to this in February. This is a dual POV romance, just like Birthday Girl and Poem 57, but it's a bully romance, and it's between Vicious and I can't remember the girl's name. It's like flashbacks between when they were in high school and current day when the female starts working with him, the male. So I'm probably going to be picking that up as well. And then I think that's pretty much it. I'm just going to continue the manga series that I've been reading. I'll read The Kiss Thief while I'm at work because I'll need an ebook. I will listen to my audiobook of Vicious, and then I think the first book that I'm going to pick up, I'm gonna pick up Tokyo Ghoul today, and then I only have volume 1, 2, and 6 physically for some reason. So I need to pick up these, and then I'm also, I think, gonna start Punk 57 today as well when I get home from work. Okay, now I have to go eat my breakfast and go to work because I think I've run up all that extra time. Let's talk about the things that I read while at work because I read quite a bit. Okay, so the first thing that I finished was The Kiss Thief by LJ Shin, and I gave it 2 stars. So the thing about this is, I'm gonna put a spoiler warning here. Go to this time if you don't want to be spoiled for this book. Okay, so there's 2 things about this book that I don't like. The main character is a virgin, and when they have sex for the first time, she had led him to believe that she was not a virgin, that she had been with other people. And so they got into a fight. He was mad and he thought that she had cheated on him. And so she basically was like, I want you to have sex with me, like in an attempt to make sure that their marriage didn't end, I guess. So he was very aggressive. Like, she was bleeding and stuff, obviously, and he was just like not gentle or anything like that. She started crying and he saw her crying, and once he realized like what had happened, he felt bad. Like he got off of her and she kind of made him finish, but then he kind of like was taking care of her and he apologized and all that stuff. But it was very suspicious at best. It was really uncomfortable, and because you were in her head, it was bad. Like, it was bad. So that kind of already made me not know how I was feeling about the book. And then they threw in a surprise unwanted pregnancy, which is probably one of my least favorite tropes. I don't like it at all, and the reason that this happened was because they were irresponsible, which is very irritating. So this gets 2 stars from me. I did not like it at all. Part of like a common theme in like dark romance is that generally the more masculine character is like a dick, basically, and they kind of come around to loving the person, I guess, like, or they are a jerk to everyone else but the person that they eventually love. And that's great, but there are like some levels of like dickishness that I just don't like, or that I don't find believable, or that make it so like I don't believe that the female or the opposite partner could get over it or see past it or still love the other person. And something that I've noticed with like LJ Shin is that all of her characters, all of her male characters, are exactly the same. So I said I loved Vicious. That was like the first LJ Shin book I read, but once you kind of get used to like her very stereotypical characters, it kind of takes it away. And I felt like the male in the story was like the worst that I've read from her. There was no part of him that I felt like was any ground for her to work off of, like no redeeming qualities for her to see, you know what I mean, like get past the bad behavior, I guess. They also were very immature. So she was 19 and he's 30, but he acted like a teenager. There was just like this constant cycle of like, he cheated on me, she cheated on me, like this back and forth, and it just felt very immature. I wasn't a fan. So I finished that, and then I finished a bunch of comics / graphic novels. So the first one that I finished was Ab Boss. This is the story of a Black female investigator in Chicago in the 60s, I think. And she is investigating some like gruesome murders that are happening. And this one I didn't rate because it's kind of like the first couple of volumes in a series are generally just like setup for the story. But this deals a lot with like racism and sexism in that time, but it also is like crime and stuff. So then I read Mystery Society Volume 1, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. I don't generally, like I said, rate the first volume because it's kind of a setup, but this was so good. Like I was so invested in the story that I almost immediately wanted to pick up the next volume. This is about a family, I guess. So it starts with the husband and the wife, and they have started this group that they want to debunk Bigfoot, UFO, like that, like all of the great legends and mysteries. And then they end up kind of forming like a group. So it's those two, and then they have a ghoul, and then Jules Verne, his like brain is in a robot, and then they have two twin girls that have powers that they got from like Area 51. And the first volume was just like the husband retelling how like the group got together basically, but it was so interesting. I told my partner like I would love for them to make it into a TV show because I think it would be really good. So then I read Girls Volume 1, and this is 28 pages, and it starts with a guy who he like meets this girl in a grocery store where he works, and he invites her to a bar, and she kind of turns him down. And then he goes to the bar and he's with his friend and he's getting drunk. And then this girl, who I guess he like kissed her, and she was like, no, I don't, you know, what makes you think you can do that? And then he just goes on like this rant of like very misogynistic things. Like he just making very broad stereotypes about females and like implying that females are just greedy, or they want sex, or they want attention, or whatever. And so he leaves, gets in his truck, and it's like pouring down rain, and he crashes because there's a naked woman out in the road, and he has to stop and like get her. And then it pans over to two guys coming out of the forest, and they have a shotgun, and they're like, oh, she got away. And then that was kind of the end. I saw a lot of like Goodreads reviews about this, and I think a lot of people were brushing it off as just like this misogynistic story. They were calling out his comments, so I don't really feel like the intention of the writer was to say like these comments are okay. I think we're gonna get some sort of arc of the character, but this is also a horror graphic novel or comic, and I think the women are like aliens. So I don't necessarily think that was the whole point, but I'm gonna read the next volume, and if it is, then I won't continue. But yeah. And then I read Ghost Volume 1, which was, it was okay. I don't know if I'll pick up the second volume, but it's about this woman who, I guess she has like a near-death experience, or she did die and she comes back. And when she comes back, like she has amnesia, she can't remember who she is, but she has like the power to turn herself into a ghost, and she's like fighting crime and like killing demons. And at the end, she like makes a deal with a demon that they will team up. She has to get him a new body, and he will tell her a bunch of information basically and help her remember who she is. And then I started the first volume of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I'm about 70 pages into that out of like 120, I think. And the art is gorgeous. I think whoever designed it, it's really pretty, it's really vibrant, but it's like the stereotypical story of Sabrina. Right now, there's like weird magical creatures that are coming, like that are like showing themselves in her town, and she's trying to figure out with the help of her aunts what's going on. So those are the books that I read while I was at work. So I think what I'm going to pick up now is Punk 57. I didn't start this at all, so I think I'm gonna jump into it now. Hi. We don't love this camera angle, but we're going with it, I guess. I am 293 pages into Punk 57. It is 325 pages. So I will be able to finish that very quickly and then move on. So I think after Punk 57, I'm going to read Tokyo Ghoul Volume 1. And then after I finish this, I think I'm going to pick up Clockwork Angel. And then after that, we will read Full Metal Alchemist. And then after that, we will read Birthday Girl, which you're currently resting on. I have a 3-day weekend because it's Labor Day here in America. Punk 57. I want to say that the first time I read this at the beginning of the year, I listened to the audiobook, and I don't know which version I like better, because I think listening to the audiobook built a lot more tension because I'm hearing them recounting these events. but it might also be because I've already read this book. But it's still great. Like, even though I know all of the little intricate details that you might miss, that you might not know about, even though I know all of that's going on, I'm still really enjoying it. Penelope Douglas does a great job of writing tension between characters. Like, she's so good at it. And she's also really good at just writing characters, like, period. They might not always be very likable, but you can always understand their motivations. And there's never a point in any of the books that I've read where I've been like, I don't really know why they want to be together. I've never like questioned any of her relationships. She makes her couples like a good fit. She's just really good. So I've said it a million times, but if you have not checked out Penelope Douglas and you like dark romances, she is like the perfect author, in my opinion. If you don't like dark romances or you're new to the romance genre, I maybe wouldn't recommend her unless you know that's something that you like. Like, I started reading romance with L.J. Shin and Penelope Douglas, like full romance books, before I would read romance and like fantasy and stuff like that. Once I was in the dark genre, I haven't left. I still love it. I like the fluffy stuff like Christina Lauren, and I like stuff like that. But these just are the best in my opinion. So yeah, pick her up. If I was recommending books to someone, I would say if you are looking for a like dark bully romance with a lot of angst and a lot of like questionable, morally gray characters, I would say read Punk 57. If you are looking for like an age gap with maybe some like still steaminess, but I would say this is a little bit softer than Punk 57. So if you're looking for like some steamy age gap that's still a little soft and a little fun, then I would recommend Birthday Girl. If you are looking for just straight up stuff, like straight up, yeah, I would recommend Credence, which is her new book. And if you are looking for a good romance series, I would recommend The Devil's Night. This is like, The Devil's Night series is like in the same vein as like Punk 57, like the darker side. And a lot of themes that are in Punk 57 are in the Devil's Night series. This was written, I think this was written, because this takes place in the same town, and I think this was written between the third book in the series and the newest book, between Killswitch and Nightfall. So very good. But yeah, so check her out if you haven't already. Most of her books are free on Kindle Unlimited. If you have that, do it for yourself. Do yourself a favor and read her. Now, I'm gonna finish Punk 57 and then I'm going to get into Tokyo Ghoul Volume 1. Lighting weird? Probably, but without my ring light, it's super dark, so I might just be washed out, but it's fine. So I finished volume 1 of Tokyo Ghoul, and I'm about to start in on Clockwork Angel, and I'm just really excited for my reread. This, like, the Shadowhunter Chronicles just mean so much to me. When I was a kid, I was really bullied, and especially in elementary school, I was bullied a lot because I couldn't really read all that well, and so I was put in remedial classes and I had to go to tutoring. And so just in addition to the way that I looked and not fitting in and being quiet, I was bullied a lot, and that kind of carried on into later years. And so when I found The Mortal Instruments, which was like this series that I dove head into, like, I was so absorbed in this world, and I really loved that I was seeing a main character that I felt like I could relate to. I read Clary now, and she's really annoying, but when I first kind of discovered the books, I loved the idea of like this normal girl who's not necessarily, you know, doesn't really think the best about herself, who just feels like she's a normal girl, kind of like discovering this other world, and we're in like a place that she feels like she fits in. I don't know, I just related a whole lot to the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and it's been a series that I read time and time again when I am feeling bad about myself, or just in general. When I graduated high school, there was a period of time where I didn't read for years. I was just not taking care of myself. I was partying all the time, and I wasn't eating, and I was just in a very bad headspace, and the only thing that I could read that could keep my attention and that could make me feel better was the Shadowhunter Chronicles. And I'm sure we all have that series, and that's what I love about reading, and that I love about the booktube community, is that I can say this and not be laughed at or feel like no one's gonna understand what I'm talking about, because we have all been there and we all have that series that just makes us feel better, and that's this series. And every single time I go into the series, I just love it so much. And the Infernal Devices is my personal favorite. I think Tessa, I relate to Tessa so much. She is very different from Clary, but they both have this like ordinary girl that doesn't think very much of herself, and she's just trying to get by, that kind of finds this family and like this place in the world that she feels like she fits into, and she kind of discovers herself, and she doesn't really know who she is or any of that, but she recognizes that this is somewhere that she belongs, and these are people that really care about her, and that she's worth being cared about. And there's a quote in the first one that I really love, and every single time I read it, it feels like, I don't know, it's probably my favorite quote of any book I've ever read. Okay, here it is. If no one in the entire world cared about you, did you really exist at all? I feel like personally connected to Tessa and like everybody in this series, and it means a whole lot to me. So anytime I can read it, I get very excited. And I will just always be a diehard fan of this series, I think, and it just will always mean a lot to me. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm going to start this lovely thing. So it is Saturday night at roughly 8:30, and I am 390 pages into Clockwork Angel. I haven't finished it like I was expecting. I'm not done reading for the night, but I wanted to give you guys an update. I had a very productive day life-wise, but not a productive day reading-wise. I cleaned the house, spent some time with the ferrets. I put up some fall decorations, fall/Halloween decorations, because why would you not start decorating the first week in September when it's still like 96 degrees out and with a heat index of like 104? So I had a good day. and I made a lot of progress into Clockwork Angel, given that I'm still like heavily annotating this. But mostly I just watched YouTube videos. I discovered this channel called Observe. If you are not familiar with this channel already, I'm gonna put it down in the description bar. I highly recommend checking it out. The guy that runs it is like a non-verbal language expert or something along those lines, and he evaluates clips of like people's, I guess, stuff. I found his videos because he was analyzing the apology videos of like YouTubers and stuff. And so I found him through that, and then like I just fell into a spiral of watching him analyze people's stuff. So check him out if that sounds like something that you're interested in. He breaks down how to like read people's nonverbal cues, and it's really interesting. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get back to reading, but I wanted to give you guys that update. Sunday. I spent the morning doing more decorating, and that was pretty much it. So last night I finished Clockwork Angel, and I did my little annotations, and I also included a letter to Cassandra Clare. That might be a little lame, but I just felt like I wanted to write her. Basically, it says like how this series makes me feel, and then we have little illustrations of the 3 that I put in there. I didn't, you know, give my thoughts yesterday because it was like 11 when I finished, and then I was getting sleepy and my phone battery was gonna die, and I just didn't do it. I loved it, and I have a feeling that when I go into the second book, I'm gonna be using a lot of green tabs, which green tabs mean emotional. So we'll see, because the second one, I have cried every single time I read it. So we'll see how that goes. But now I need to jump into volume 1 through 3 of Full Metal Alchemist. And then the last book that I need to read is Birthday Girl. So Birthday Girl is 396 pages, so hopefully I can finish this today. Yesterday I was just getting so distracted by everything. Like I would read like a chapter or 2 of Clockwork Angel, and then I'd just go watch a YouTube video. So hopefully I can finish this today. I can most certainly finish this today. But if I don't finish this today, then I'll just wrap up tomorrow, because I also have tomorrow off. So I'm going to get into this, and I will talk to you guys when I'm done. Officially finished reading all of my faves. I actually finished reading last night, and again, I just didn't really feel like closing the vlog out. But anyways, so let's talk about it. So the first book that I read for this vlog was Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I would give this book 4 out of 5 stars this go round, the same as my rating has been. I listened to this book audibly the first time that I read it, and I think reading it the second time I got more than I did audibly. I really liked the audiobook, but I think there was like a lot of scenes in this that I didn't remember happening, and I think because I physically read it, I got a lot more out of it. It was really good. I read volume 1 of Tokyo Ghoul, which I would give a 5 out of 5 stars, like I always would for all Tokyo Ghoul. Then I read Clockwork Angel, and I annotated it, and it took me quite a bit of time to finish this, but I was really enjoying myself. I would give this 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read Full Metal Alchemist, which is volumes 1 through 3, and I enjoyed it. They were just like really good setup for the series, but also just very good. Like you're starting to see like the villains and kind of what's going on in this world, and you're meeting some of like the key players in this series, so very good. And then lastly, I read and finished Birthday Girl last night. I would give this 5 out of 5 stars, just like I did the first time. Admittedly, when I reread it, I've skipped the conflict that happens. I personally love the conflict. I think the conflict is great, but for this reread, I didn't really want to read that. I wanted to read leading up to them getting together, them being together for a little bit, and then the ending where they make up. That's just what I wanted to read. So there was about 30 pages that I didn't read, but 5 out of 5 stars. Perfect. Perfection. Best couple ever of any of Penelope Douglas's books, in my opinion. She just does such a good job of making you understand why the couple wants to be together, and they're just like the perfect fit for each other, in my opinion. Jordan has been through so much in her life that she's just very mature, and she just wants the happy, settled life. And Pike, who had a child very young, didn't get to live that life of like happiness. He kind of lived alone his whole life, really his whole adult life, and he was just kind of trying to live for his son, even when his son didn't want anything to do with him. So he was missing companionship, he was missing love, and they just related so well, and they had this connection that was just entirely believable, and her writing is fantastic. So yeah, so that was my vlog for reading. I also read, what did I read? I read that one LJ Shen book, The Kiss Thief. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I didn't finish the audiobook of Vicious by LJ Shen. That was my reading my faves vlog. I hope you guys liked it. Comment down below if you've read any of these books and you liked them. I would love to talk about them. But I will see you guys in my next video, and thanks so much. Bye.